Welcome y'all, I'm Liza. We are at ACTV Studio today and we are doing biceps, triceps, and abs. All you need is a 5-pound set of weights or 2s or 3s, honestly, whatever you wanna curl and work with your triceps with. Let's get going. We're gonna start on our backs. So I'm gonna start you with abs, waking up your biceps and your triceps. So you'll grab your weights, you'll lie all the way down on your back, and then you'll tabletop your legs. Now from here, I'm gonna start with just the bicep curl. Think curl for 2, and then lower for 2. Now, as you start to curl, I want you to think about your very back, bottom ribs, pushing heavy and wide into the mat. Curl, then reach. Think curl for 2, and then out for 2. Now, we're gonna add a curl or a scoop of the head, neck, shoulders. Every time you curl in, bending your elbows. In 8, we're gonna add the scoop. In a 6, it's a fancy way to say crunch. 4, 3, 2, 2 counts. Think curl, scoop, then lower right back down. Exhale, curl to scoop, and then lower for 2. Try to get the shoulder blades higher, and then lower right back down. Exhale, up, down, down. Think about the front abdominal wall, pushing heavy back behind your back ribs and then energizing out through the crown of your head and then lower. Now we got one more add. I'm gonna hold you up. We'll reach the legs. You curl and scoop. That's a lie. We're gonna add the legs with it. Every time you lay the head, neck, shoulders down and you reach the arms long, your legs will go long. Here's 4, 3, 2, add the legs. So reach out, everything out, and then hug everything right back in. Try to hug your front ribs a little bit closer into your back ribs, never letting your low back arch. Here's 8, 7, 6. You're just gonna freeze in the ball. 4, 3, 2, freeze, hold. Try to get your scoop a little bit higher. Little lift, lift. Here's 10, 9, 8, you have another set. In 6, we're gonna get the triceps this time. 4, 3, 2, 1, breathe. You can windshield wiper your knees. Knees go to one side. Gaze can go to the opposite. Kind of reset your low back. And then when you're ready, I want you to get heavy and wide with your back ribs again. Get heavy through your tailbone. And then tabletop your legs one more time. Knees are in line with the hips, ankles are in line with the knees. And this time I want your palms to face in towards your body. Your collarbone stays wide. Elbows, I want you to lift them slightly off of your mat. 2 counts. Think bend, and then reach. Think bend for 2, and then reach for 2. Now, every time you reach, can you think full extension? Try to find the tricep as you extend the arms, reach out for 2. Rather than thinking only about the curl, think about the full extension. Now, every time you extend, we're gonna add the scoop in 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, add the scoop. So you press, reach, scoop up, and then lower right back down. Exhale, press, flex the triceps, and then lower for 2. We're gonna add the legs extending. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, add the legs. Press, reach, scoop, extend, and then lower right back down. Keep the collarbone wide, and then bend the knees. Exhale, reach for 2. Here's 8, 7, 6. You're just gonna freeze. 4, 3, 2, freeze, hold. Open the collarbone, palms to the ground. Now start to pump. Think Pilates 100. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and then exhale, 2, 3, 4. Here's 10, here's 9. In 8, you're gonna stand all the way up. In 6, it's a bicep curl. In 4, 3, 2, 1. You come all the way to your feet. Your elbows are gonna glue in real close to your ribs. Collarbone is still nice and wide. We're gonna start with a curl, only coming halfway up. So you're gonna curl up halfway and then lower down. Think curl for 2, and then lower for 2. You're trying to keep your elbows like right in front of your ribs, and then lower right back down. Curl in, lower down, and down. Rather than your elbows getting any closer to your body, can you press into the weight? Think about pushing forward. Push forward, then lift up, and then lower down. It's up, then lower down. Think curl, then lower down for 2. Now from here, you're gonna reach out. Think serve a platter is the name of the exercise. In, here's 8, 7, 6. We're gonna press out forward. 4, here's 3, here's 2. Think big press. Push out, full extension, and then bend for 2. Now, every time you extend, I want you to think your arms, they get nice and long. Reach out, and you're trying to push the weights with your biceps, and you gotta hug your abs in the further the weights to get away from your body. Push out, pull in for 2. Big press. Then you bend. Now it's a high curl. We're gonna freeze with our elbows fairly in line with our shoulders. In 6, here's 5, go 4, here's 3, here's 2, freeze, hold, you're at that full extension. Now curl. Curl in, then reach out for 2. Your collarbone still stays wide. Now, if you're only in your neck or the weights ever become too much, you simply, 1, lower down the weight, or you can take the weights away. You're just gonna make a fist, and the more you grip your fist, the more activation you'll get in the biceps. Curl in, then out for 2. Now, from here, work zone. In 8, it's a small movement. In 6, tiny little out. 4, 3, 2, make it really small. Tiny out, tiny in. Now, if you're only in your neck or only in your traps, I want you to lower your elbows down slightly. Every time you reach away from your body, try to hug the abs a little closer, like your belly button, a little closer to your spine. Here's 8, you're going 2 count curl. 6, here's 5, go 4, 3, 2, 2 count long. Reach out for 2, curl in for 2. Then reach, then curl, curl. Now from here, we're gonna combo with the serve. In 8, you're gonna bend your elbows. 6, like into your ribs. 4, 3, 2, bend the elbows, like into the ribs. Then press out, then curl in for 2. Reach out for 2, then curl, then lengthen, then bend. I'm starting to shake, y'all. Reach out for 2, and then bend for 2. Now we're gonna add that final little layer of that curl. Your knuckles toward the ground, out, then bend in. 1 more round. Here's 8, go 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now lower the knuckles down to the ground. Now halfway curl in, now press out. Push out, then curl in for 2. Take it out for 2, and then curl. Think lower, then bend. Now press straight out, hug your abs, then bend in, then reach out, then curl in. You have a little work zone. In 8, here's 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Final one, then you reset. Tiny out, tiny in, little out, little in. Here's 8, go 7, and 6. Can you lift the elbows just a little bit? Here's 4, you get a full shake out. In 3, I'm gonna get the triceps. 2, 1, breathe. Whew. Shake it out. Drop your weights for just a sec, set them down. We're going into the triceps. I am gonna ask for a quadruped position for your triceps, and we're gonna actually work 1 arm at a time. So I want you to face either direction, but you're gonna get into a quadruped. I want your wrists and your shoulders in line with one another, and your knees underneath your hips. Now from here, I'm gonna use 1 weight. I take 1 weight into my right hand, and I'm gonna reach back with a long arm. Now I like my palm facing my body. Collarbone is nice and wide. It's a straight sweep down for a 2 count. You go down, down, lift, lift. Think lower for 2, and then lengthen, lift up. Trying to still hug the abs, keep a flat back, and you're trying to think about your tricep helping you wrap your grip around the weight. Think down, down, and then lengthen as you lift. So rather than just thinking about the height, I want you to think about how long you can get behind you. Reach out, then up. Here's 8, go 7, in 6. We're gonna hit a little work zone. Here's 4, go 3, here's 2, tiny little down, tiny up. Little lower, little lift. Now from here, it's a tricep kick back. In 8, 2 count bend. 6, here's 5, 4, 3, 2, 2 count bend. Think bend for 2, then press for 2. Do it again, think bend, then press. Now the goal is that your elbow is gonna stay slightly above your rib as you bend, then push. So like how static can you keep the elbow as you press and then you bend, the sweat starting. Push out for 2, here's 8. We're gonna combo those 2. 6, 1 arm lower, 4, 3, 2. Keep the arm long, 2 counts. Down, then lift up. Now bend, then press. Think down, then lift up. You got 1 hold. In 4, 3, 2, freeze, hold. For 8, 7, 6, we're gonna get the bicep. In 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. I was shaking, hitting failure to the end of that one. From here, still keep that one weight in your right hand. I want your elbow in front of your rib. Now we're gonna go single arm bicep. Think lower the right arm down, 2 counts. So you wanna curl only half range still, and then lower, back down. You wanna press out to bend, and then lower for 2. Think a big exhale, huge inhale. Lots of times I work out with my eyes closed. So I think about my bicep helping, lengthening down my forearm and like gripping around the weight to curl in, lower, down. Now we're going back to that serve, what we did with both arms. We're gonna go single arm. Here's 6, you're gonna press out. In 4, here's 3, here's 2, 2 count, press out. Push out, then pull in for 2. Now every time you press away, hug the abs in. Then try to keep your wrist in line with your elbow as you pull the elbow in toward the ribs. So you gotta press, then you bend. Now we're gonna curl. In 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 2 count curl. Curl in, then reach out. Now every time you curl, the goal is your elbow, kind of once you set it, it's not gonna move, right? So every time you reach out, it probably wants to lower, and every time you bend, it wants to lift, and it's your job to see how static you can keep the elbow as you reach out to extend and then curl right back in. Now we're gonna put everything together. In 8, you're gonna lower down. In 6, think elbow to the rib. Here's 4, go 3, here's 2, now you bend. Bend the elbow into the rib, then lower down. Get the lower of the half curl. Now curl halfway in, now press out, and then you bend in. Think reach out, lower down, and then you curl. We're gonna go singles. In 6, here's 5, 4, 3, 2, single counts. So it's out, then bend, then lower, and curl. Big press, bend, reach, in, down, bend, then press and curl. Reach out, bend to the rib, and then lower, bend, press, curl, out, lower, down. Here's 9, 8, 7, 6, go 5, 4, 3, 2, freeze. Tiny little bend right here. Little bend, little press, little bend, little press. Here's 8. We're gonna go with the other side. In 6, we're going back to the triceps. In 5, other arm. Here's 4, 3, 2, 1. Whoo! Shake it out. Okay, we gotta get the other side to even you out, right? So, same starting position. I want your shoulders stacked over your wrists, and then I want you to grab your weight in your left hand. Now, from here, you're gonna reach all the way out and back. I like my palm facing me. Your collarbone is nice and wide. 2 counts, lower down. Down, then lift. Lower, then lift for 2. Think down, down, up, up. Think lower with control. and then lengthen, lift. Now you're still thinking about more length, less about how high you can get. As it's down, then up. Think lower, lower, lift, lift. Now from here, you got a little work zone. Tiny down, tiny up. You're gonna keep your arm nice and long. Think full extension. Here's 8, here's 7, 6, go 5, 4, 3, 2, tiny little down, little up, little lower, little lift. Now you have that bend, it's your kick back. Here's 8, we're going 2 counts. In 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 2 counts down. Think bend for 2, and then press, but your elbow doesn't lower. So you're trying to keep your elbow like right in line with the rib, if not tiny bit above. Press, then bend. Think full extension out, and then curl right back in. Now we have that lovely combo. 2 count lower, 2 count with the bend. In 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 2 count lower down for 2, lengthen, lift for 2, and then bend for 2. Big press, lower down, lengthen, lift. Here's 8, 7, 6, little hold. In 4, 3, 2, freeze hold. Whoo, shaking. Here's 8, 7, 6. I can't get it all the way there. In 4, bicep curl. 3, 2, 1. Oh, other side, right? We got to even it out for the bicep. You're gonna come taking your left elbow in front of your ribs. Collarbone is nice and wide. 2 count, just the bottom half of that curl. So you're gonna curl, lower down. Now kind of get your breath about you. At least my heart rate's raising, even at little tabletop. Lower down, then curl. Think down, curl for 2. Lower, then lift. Now how still can you keep the elbow? Is it still glued to your rib? Are you letting your elbow push into your rib? Or are you pushing into the weight? Keeping the elbow exactly where it is. Think curl, lower down. Now the serve. Here's 6, you're gonna press out. 4, 3, 2, 2 count press. Push out, then bend into your rib. Do it again. Push out for 2, and then bend for 2. Big press, trying to keep your shoulders pretty dang level. Push out, then bend in. Exhale, press. Then pull elbow to rib, push out and out. Now from here, you got that nice little curl. Your arm is gonna be nice and long. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 2 count curl. Curl in, take it out. Do it again. Curl in, then reach out for 2. Still trying to stay out of your neck, out of your trap as you curl in for 2. Now we're gonna combo everything together. You're gonna bend the elbow into the rib. Here's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. 2 count, pull your elbow into your rib, then lower, down, then curl in. Now push straight out. Try to keep the shoulders level. Try to keep the elbows still as you curl, and then reach out. Think in, bend, lower, down, curl, in, then reach out. Now we get into those singles. Single counts, you still gotta control the elbow, so you're moving on purpose, even when we pick the pace up a little bit. Here's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, single counts. Reach out, then bend, then lower. Now curl, push out with the bicep, curl, reach, in, out, bend, press, curl. Reach out, pull in, lower, down, then curl, reach out, bend, reach, bend. Here's 9, 8, 7, just that work zone. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, freeze at the extension. Tiny bend, tiny press. A little bend, little press. Here's 8, go 7. In 6, we're going back to the triceps. In 5, tricep dips. 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. Breathe. No weights for this one, so you're just body weight. I want you to take your feet, your knees, they're gonna be bent, and then take your hands pretty dang close to your butt cheeks. I want your fingertips shining straight to your heels. Now from here, you're gonna open your collarbone, and you're gonna hover your bum away from your mat. Now, I want you to keep your collarbone nice and wide, and I want you to notice that I'm bending my elbows to lower down and then press, rather than lowering my butt up and then down. So try to keep your bum kind of this position that you choose, the same. 2 counts, just bend the elbows. Bend the elbows for 2, and then press for 2. So you're gonna bend, then press. It's down, then up and up. Think lower and lower. Here's 8. You have a little work zone in 6 at the bottom. Here's 4, 3, 2, tiny little up, tiny down, tiny lift, tiny lower. Here's 8, go 7. In 6, it's just a little pulse, you're out of this. 4, 3, 2, at the bottom, tiny little lift, little lift. Here's 8, go 7. In 6, both arms with the triceps. 4, it's your sweep. In 3, 2, 1, oh. Okay, now we gotta hit both arms with the triceps at the same time. I'll wrap it up, we'll kind of bookend with abs. From here, you're still gonna be on your knees, and I want your collarbone nice and wide. And I want your palms to actually face behind you. You're gonna find a hinge at your hips, so you'll deepen the crease at your hips. Your bum's gonna kind of hover like it would be over your heels. Now your back, your spine, you wanna keep it long. From here, 2 counts, press back, then resist right back forward. You wanna lengthen as you press, resist for 2. So you wanna push, then resist, almost in line with the thighs. It's back, then forward, forward. Now from here, I have my palms facing straight behind me. When we go into that kick back, I'm gonna have your palms face you. Here's 6, like into your body. Go 4, 3, 2, freeze, hold. Palms face you. Now 2 count. Think bend, then press. You wanna bend for 2, and then press for 2. Now the elbows, goal is they don't move. As you fully extend, and then you bend and bend. Press, we're gonna work zone. In 8, your arms stay long. Here's 6, go 5. In 4, 3, 2, tiny little lower, little lift. Little down, little up. 1, hold. 4, 3, 2, freeze, hold, flip the palms. You gotta lengthen out for 8, here's 7. In 6, you got the tricep press. In 5, 1 more exercise. In 4, then I'm going for the abs. Here's 3, 2, 1, breathe. Weights can go away. This is body weight. Think back extension, but I'm gonna have a little bit of a more emphasis on your triceps. You get to lay full on your belly at first. So get a big old breath. I want you to think palms right in toward your chest. Fingertips are still gonna reach forward out in front of you. Now from here, I just want you to press up. So press heavy through the palms. As you lift up, you wanna lengthen through the crown of the head and then lower right back down. 2 counts, you're gonna lift. Lift up, then lower for 2. Now you wanna think about reaching out through heart center as you lift. Lift up, think lengthen, and then lower right back down. So you're contracting the tricep. You're actually lengthening your low back. Reach out through the crown of the head, and then lower right back down. Here's 6. In 5, little work zone. Here's 3, 2, freeze halfway. Up, down, lift, then lower. Here's 8, 7, 6. It's a variation of a Pilates series of 5. I like to say like Liza style of it. Here's 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh. Okay, I'm kind of done. I'm leaving your triceps and your biceps alone. I'm gonna go full into the center of your body. So I want you to lay on your back. We're gonna start with something called single leg stretch. So your heels. Once again, kind of at the beginning of class, I want to take a second and get the center of your body totally engaged. You're going to take your back ribs really heavy into the mat and your tailbone heavy as well. Now there's a little pocket of space in your low back that I want you to maintain and keep it the same. So it's never going to grow. It's also never going to shrink. We're not melting our spine. And then tabletop your legs. So your knees are in line with your hips, your ankles are in line with your knees. Now reach your left leg long. And then take your hands, grab your right shin. Now from here, I want you to scoop your head, neck, shoulders up off of your bed or your mat. Now, if this is ever too much, you're just gonna lay it right back down, and then you can stay there instead. 2 counts. Think switch, then switch. So you're gonna bend your left, and then bend your right, knowing if it's all in your neck here, trying to keep that scoop, you're just gonna lower it down and you can move with us. So you're gonna switch for 2 and then switch for 2. Here's 8, now try to stabilize the hips. 6, like don't let them move. In 4, 3, 2, go to single counts. Think switch and switch. You're gonna bend and bend. Now, can your front abdominal wall get a little bit heavier? Like your front ribs are gonna hug into your back ribs. For 8, here's 7. In 6, go 5. In 4, you gotta reset. In 3, 2, 1, breathe. You get a second? You have 4 more rounds, yeah? From there, we're getting into a scissor switch. So you get a little bit of a lengthen through your hamstrings, which is kind of a bonus, lovely little bonus there. You're gonna take your right toes up to the ceiling, and then you're gonna take your left toes, reach them long at that 45 degrees. Now from here, grab the back of your right ankle or grab the back of your right thigh if your hamstrings are kind of tight. I'm gonna grab my calf and you scoop up just a little bit more. 2 counts. Switch, then switch. Think catch, then catch. Now you can catch, kind of pull up and get an added little stretch. Think catch, stretch, catch, and stretch. Here's 8, you're gonna go singles. In 6, keep the hips nice and quiet. 4, 3, 2, single counts. Think switch and switch. You wanna hug and hug. Now, still trying to think wrap, like 360 around your waist as you catch and catch. Here's 8, go 7. In 6, we're going bicycles. In 5, I'm gonna flow you right into it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend your right knee, take your hands behind your head, twist over towards your right knee, 2 counts. You're gonna switch and then switch. So you wanna think about lifting the right blade and then your left blade, but your hips aren't gonna move. You're trying to twist from the rib cage up. Think twist, then twist. Now, when I take it to singles, the goal is your hips, they still stay quiet. In 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, single counts. Think switch and switch. You wanna switch and switch while you lift the right, then the left, and try to keep the hips nice and steady. Reminder, you're only gonna twist from the rib cage up. 8 more. 8, here's 7. In 6, here's 5. In 4, you got another set, y'all. In 3, 2, 1, breathe. Take a moment. From here, we already did our single leg stretch. We went into scissor that went into bicycle. From here, I'm gonna do leg lifts. So your head, neck, shoulders, I prefer to do them down. I want you to keep your head down. Your hands can go behind your head. They can also go underneath your bum. Whatever works best for you, this will help you stabilize your hips if they're underneath. Once you take your toes up to the ceiling, 4 counts lower. Down, 2, 3, 4, then lift up. Think lower. 2, 3, 4, then lift up for 2, for 3. Now think about that pocket of space. As you lower down, do not let your low back lift, and then you lift the legs by hugging your abs. Like a big old stack of books is gonna push down on your front abdominal wall every time you lift the legs back up. 2 count. 4, 3, 2, 2 counts. Lift up, then lower. Think lift, then lower. Now watch your front ribs. Every time you lower the legs, they're gonna wanna lift. Try not to let them. Y'all, you're so dang close. Little work zone. 6, you're at the bottom. In 4, 3, 2, tiny. Up, down, lift, lower. Here's 8, double leg stretch. In 6, into another Pilates 100. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug the knees in. Whew, you're close. This is it, y'all. Final stretch. You're so close to the finish line, you can almost taste it. I want you to get all set up again. So your feet, they're heavy. Your back ribs, they're heavy. Your tailbone's heavy. You're hugging your abs in. Now from here, tabletop the legs. Take the hands to the back of the thighs. Scoop your head, neck, shoulders up. You're going 2 counts out. Take it out, then hug right back in. Big reach for 2, big hug for 2. You're not here long. Pilates 100. You're done, you're out of this. Here's 8, go 7. In 6, you can always lay the head down. 4, here's 3, here's 2, freeze, hold. If you got it, scoop the head, neck, shoulders up. Get lighter in the grip, get heavier through the belly. Take the right hand out, then the left. I'm gonna keep your legs in tabletop first. Think inhale through your nose, sharp exhale through your mouth. And then if you want it, you lengthen the legs. It is not a 100 with me, y'all. Think inhale, exhale, you go 10. Here's 9. In 8, y'all, you're done. In 6, here's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, breathe. You did it. Good job, y'all. Way to work.